Morning, everybody. So today I'm going to walk you through Olympic scoring. This is one of our more complicated programs, but it's actually not that difficult. The challenge comes in combining a lot of different things we've learned through the course of the year into one little program. Obviously, I didn't want to overload you. I've only got 3 inputs. It's only got to calculate a winner and find averages. So it's not a lot of complicated things, but it's got a number of things you have to do in order to achieve it the way it suggests. So this is a copy of the text file that I gave you. So we have a little bit of metadata telling us how many athletes we've got. We've got 3 lines of the person's name, the athlete, in this case snowboarding, and 7 scores. Now, I've mentioned it in class, the Olympics actually do something a little unique. So they average the scores, but only after they have taken out the maximum and the minimum scores. It's a way they put in to try to remove favoritism or undue bias to score someone low. And this is an example of the output, and that's really all we're meant to see. So we see each of their averages, and then we see the winner. None of this is allowed to be hard-coded. We're going to be reading this in with a scanner, and then we'll be doing all our calculations and determining inside the code. Now, because we haven't done this in a while, I'm also going to show you real fast where to go to put the file. So this is a simple text file I gave you. And if we go to your documents, if you're using a regular IDE, you'll find the NetBeans folder. If I go into it, these are a list of all my projects. I just need to go in the one that I'm using today. So since this is a recording, I have a folder set aside for everything I make for you guys that are recorded. And there you see Olympic is. If I need to verify it any further, I go into the source file right here and I find Olympic scoring. So I know I'm in the right place. There's nothing in here right now. It's 0 kilobytes because I haven't written it yet. That's what we're doing today. Jump in my code. I've got my basic skeleton set up. Now, because I'm using a file, I need to add my other import. Okay, because that's required. When I'm reading a file, I also need to add my exception handler. And this time, my scanner is not actually going to scan anything. This is going to be my file. So I'll update this. New file. And then inside here, I put the name of that text file. All right, now the code itself is where we're at now. So we've got a few things going on. We need to access the data. We need to find the max and min. We need to calculate the average. We need to print it for each person. And then I'll put this down here for updates if we need to update anything. And then last thing we need to do is declare a winner. Not too bad. We've had other longer, more complex things, but here's where we're going. All right, so first thing we need to do, we've got the file. Let's take care of the metadata. I choose to ignore metadata when I don't absolutely need it. So read dot next line. There you go. So that eats my metadata. And I don't have to worry about that 3 ever again. Now, this is something I've mentioned a few times. So we need placeholder values, okay? These are garbage values. We don't expect them to last all the way through the program, but they're just empty buckets. We need them to store information that we want to take through the program, but we don't really want it to interfere in something, okay? Remember, this whole purpose of this program is to decide a winner. So let's do string winner. And I'll be greedy, and Mr. Gerald is going to win. And give me a win score, and we'll make it 0.0. Now, something I know will absolutely be replaced. I do not want that to last. It's just there to as a placeholder, okay? Okay, because these will determine our winner at the very end, okay? All right, for the rest of the entire well, most of the rest, this is where we're going to need our loop. Okay? Read.hasNext is the simple one we use to read the entire text file. Okay? All right, so first thing I need to do is I need to grab the whole line. So let's do input equals read.next line. Now this is going to grab the first name and all its scores in one value. All right. Now I need a string array. It's going to be determined by the delimiter, so we'll just call it delim, which is going to be input dot split, and then we separate it on the spaces. Oops. Wrong thing. There you go. Spaces. That will split my text. It will put all things in the value, and it's built my array. Yay. Now I also need to, because I can't do math with strings, so I need to also create a version that has my scores, and that's just what we'll call it, scores. Equals new. I can hard code this part because I do know that all of them have 7 scores, and yeah, that's taken care of. Now I need to populate it. So we've done this before. This is our parsing. So I'm going to take it from a string to a double, but I only want to grab the scores. I want to skip over where their name is being held. So that means instead of starting at 0 like I normally would, I will start at 1. And then I is less than delim.length I plus plus. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to load the first actual score in delim into the first index of scores. So I'm shifting everything down. Scores I minus 1 equals, I get it from delim bracket I. Now, that won't work because I have a string moving into a double. So now I need to actually convert it. So this is where my parsing comes in. Double, parse double, inside there. Yay. Okay. And I just let that loop run. That's it. That's all that loop does. I do not mess with that again. But that is going to give me my data. Okay. Next thing I need to do is I need to determine my max and min. Now, there's a lot of different ways we can do this. One of my classes got me to show them 3 different methods for finding maximum and minimum in an array. If I need to, just let me know and I'll publish a video like that. I'm going to be lazy and do it the absolutely quickest way possible, which is the command I gave you, sort. And my array is scores. Done. Okay. Now, what that does is that puts everything in numerical order from least to greatest. Okay, which means 0 is now my minimum value. The 6 index, since there's only 7 of them, is my maximum value every time. So now I just need to calculate my average. Well, I need another for loop for that. Switch my variable up. We'll go m. We'll start at 1 because, again, we're skipping the minimum. M is less than scores dot length. Now, minus 1 would give us the absolute last box, so I'm going to go minus 2 to let me skip the maximum score, and m plus plus. Now I need a quick variable, double average equals 0, average plus equal scores bracket m. And then after I get done, the way I make it an average is average divide equal 5, because we started out with 7 scores. We ignored the max and the min, so there's only 5 left. Okay. Now I need to print it. Okay, first thing I need to do is I need to print the player's name. Okay, now the player's name is located all the way back up here in this array. And because I know exactly where it's located, I can just say delim bracket 0, because that is the first thing in the line. That's the first thing that's going to be stored there. And it's still in the string format, so I don't have to worry about that. Now I need to add a colon and a space, and then I can print average, and that will be that particular player's average. Okay? That's it. Now the last thing I need to do is I need to decide if I need to update any values. Okay? Remember, back up here, I've got my name and a score of 0 as my placeholder. I don't think I'm going to win, but I need to put that into code. So I need some if tests. So if AVG is greater than win score, then I need two things to update. Excuse me. Win score is now equal to average. I update the value, but then I also need to update who the winner is. So winner is now equal to delim bracket 0. Okay, whatever player I just calculated, they now take over the winning position. Okay, this value right here is just there to make sure that they're still the winner. Okay, we keep their score temporarily. We'll never actually print it for this purpose, but it's there to check our values. Okay, that's the entire loop right there. So everything we talked about, accessing the data, calculating max and min, calculating the average, printing and updating, all that's inside the loop. The last thing we need to code is declaring a winner. All right, which that's actually now. So system.out.print winner is winner. Okay. Now we know from our code right here that we should get those values and that eventually Bowen will be declared the winner. So let's test it out. Okay, we got an issue with the rounding. We did get Bowen. Did we get the exact values? No. So let's double check what we did. You may see a cut in the video at this point. Hey guys, so this took a lot longer than expected. I apologize. I got interrupted in the middle of it, so you'll notice in the bottom corner the time drastically jumped. Apologize. Very simple error. Let me walk you through it. Okay, so this is the issue right here. So I had a -2 here when it calculated the average because I wasn't thinking equal to. So what's going on here is we were getting very low numbers, okay? And yes, the enter's wrong as well, but we'll deal with that. Okay, so the problem is I was doing this in a less than, when in my head I was thinking less than or equal to. So in that case, I would want to put -2, but since I am not doing equals, I just need to end before the last box. That was a mistake on my part for rushing through it. Apologies. If I do it this way, I do get the right numbers, but they're inconsistent. This was not in the project, but for those of you that are interested on how to fix that, that's our old friend, the printf, okay, print format, okay? So %s for a string, then we have the colon and the space as part of our output. %.2 rounds the average to 2 decimal places, and then the F tells us we're getting a decimal answer plugged in. So it's the exact same variables, just in a different version. So when I run it this time I get the nice, pretty answer we were hoping for. Ta-da! Hope this helps. Hope this was a fun challenge, because this is more like the style of coding that I'm used to giving by this time of the year. We may have 1, maybe 2 more like this before summer, so look forward to it. Bye.